Last time we talked about what emotional safety is. It's the protection from internal harm, from a threat to yourself as a person. This week we're going to be talking about how to create emotional safety. So the first step in creating emotional safety is noticing. Understanding and noticing what is going on when there is a threat and a lack of emotional safety is going to be key in changing the way that we respond in those difficult situations. So it's important to know that naturally, when there is a perceived threat, danger, or harm, we become scared. And when we become scared, our brains naturally pop into the brainstem, which is where the survival state of our responses come from. So we respond in 3 different ways. 1, we fight. You see this in your relationships, I'm sure. You may be in a position where somebody is taking the aggressive position and they're yelling at you, and you decide that you're a fighter. You may not even decide, because these are unconscious responses, but you decide that you are going to just yell back. And it usually looks something like this. And you can't hear what that other person's saying, and they can't hear what you're saying, but it escalates. It may get physically aggressive. You may see somebody throw something or slam a door. The other natural response is the fleeing in a relationship. So say you're perceiving a threat and somebody's yelling at you, and all you know how to do is go, fine, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm just leaving. I'm done with this. And the third one is the freezing. And the best way I could describe that is actually with the deer in the headlights. When you're driving down the street and there's a deer that pops up and they start staring at you instead of moving out of the way of your car, panic just goes over you and you have nothing to do but freeze. Those are the natural things that happen in our brain when we perceive that there's a threat. Well, when stress happens and we feel afraid, we have that natural response that comes up. But it's important to know that that natural response isn't always seeing the situation as it is. It's not always accurately telling you what's going on. In fact, most of the time when fight or flight or freeze is triggered, it's a false alarm. The brain, the part of the brain where this is happening, cannot distinguish the difference between a real threat or a perceived threat. So the good news is that when somebody gets in, or a lot of the times, it is a response from something that has happened for a long period of time, and that's how that person has conditioned themselves to respond. So they have taken time to learn those responses to those natural things that come up. So the good news is they have an opportunity, you have an opportunity, I have an opportunity to change the way that we respond after the natural thing comes up. So to do that, you have homework for the week. There are 2 things, and really they can help change the way that emotional safety looks in our homes, in our own personal lives, and in our relationships. So the first one is, when you perceive that there is a threat, an emotion that is bigger than it really should be for the situation pops up, and you feel scared for whatever reason, or you feel angry and you're just lashing back, stop yourself. Stop the pattern. Take a deep breath in. Let your exhale be longer than your inhale, and send a message to your brain, calm down. You are giving yourself the opportunity to think, to decide whether it is a real or a perceived threat, and then respond consciously in a way that will create more connection, better connection with those that you care about, as opposed to repel them with the natural responses of fight, flight, or freeze. So your homework is breathe. The second thing is ask yourself, am I fighting, am I fleeing, or am I freezing? Because you are doing one of those three. Just notice what you're doing. And then maybe if you want to go a step further, ask yourself, is this creating more connection, closer relationships, or is it doing the opposite and pushing that person or those people away? Thanks so much for spending some time with me today to talk about how to create emotional safety. So step 1 is notice, and your homework is breathe and pay attention to which of the 3 you do. Tune in next time and we're going to talk about step 2 and what to do if you fight, flight, or freeze.